We will begin our story in Batangas port, waiting in a queue for a ferry to Mindoro Island. We missed our boat and had to wait for another one because the traffic going from the capital was heavier than we expected. It seemed that all Manila was rushing to get out of town to enjoy the long weekend that was coming. We patiently waited under the full sun for an hour, hiding in the shade of trucks, waiting in the same queue. Then the line finally started moving and we boarded our boat. As the vessel set sail, we were sitting on the upper deck, watching the ocean. The sea was calm and the sun rays were penetrating deep into the clean water. The rocking of the boat and the monotonic sound of its engine made us fall asleep for most of the 4-hour journey. At 1:30 p.m., we arrived at Abra de Ilog port. We said goodbye to the boat, hungry for the adventure ahead. To keep ourselves in good mood, we soon stopped for lunch. We sat at a table under a tall tree, hearing the birds singing, soaking in the chill atmosphere of the countryside. After a hearty meal, we continued with our journey. At 3:30, we were riding among the chocolate-colored hills between Santa Cruz and Sablayan. For me, this was the most memorable part of the trip. Twisty roads and beautiful scenery. It was the end of dry season and the green grass covering the hills was already scorched by sun. The chocolate color of the hills contrasted beautifully with the bright lush green color of the rice fields below them. We enjoyed this stretch of the road thoroughly. As usual in life, a minute of enjoyment has to be paid back by an hour of frustration. And after this beautiful passage, we were indeed deeply in debt. Thunderstorm was coming. We put our raincoats on when we saw the first flash on the horizon, and soon we were caught in the middle of tropical rain. Riding got difficult, and thus we stopped to hide under a roof in a village we were passing by. After half an hour, the rain eased off and dark clouds disappeared. We continued with our journey further south. By 5, we were riding around Calapan, and we saw the landscape change again. Flat farmlands as far as we could see. At 6, we arrived to San Jose, where we found nice accommodation with safe parking in the Seasons Hotel. We went to sleep, looking forward for the exploration of the area we wanted to do next day. Hell is other people at breakfast, says famous misquote of Sartre. And this is even more true on riding trips filled with relative discomfort. I felt grateful to travel with a riding buddy for whom this quote did not hold. At 9:30 we were on the road again. We went north towards the Baco National Park. On the way there, we stopped to see the sharp peaks of Devil's Mountains. Having enjoyed the view, we hopped on our bikes and continued further north. The most romantic part of our journey was about to start. We were riding through rural landscape that looked like a painting came to life. Carabao resting in the rice fields and majestic mountain in the background. We enjoyed the serenity of the place. Eventually, tarmac roads disappeared and were replaced by dirt roads. Then we came to a river crossing. We were excited. Finally, a proper adventure. Having passed the river, it felt as if we moved to a different country yet again. We followed the road as far as we could. We exchanged greetings with locals who were surprised to see two guys in full adventure gear appearing out of nowhere. It was almost noon and it was about time to come back. After all, we still had 300 kilometers to go. On the way to Puerto Galera, there were 4 memorable points that I would like to share. First one being the farmlands around Magsaysay. I remember how the aroma of onions being harvested lingered in the air, and how the sudden 90-degree turns after kilometers of straight roads took us by surprise at high speed. Second nice moment came when the ocean view suddenly opened on the horizon as we reached the peak of a hill going towards Milagrosa. The next memorable location must be the palm tree forest stretching around Bongabong. Being foreigners coming from cold Europe, we have a soft spot for palm trees, as those always give us nice positive vacation vibes. Another memorable moment presented itself on the twisty road between Calapan and Puerto Galera. Quality road and golden hour of the day met in perfect harmony and created an unforgettable road riding experience. We arrived to Puerto Galera shortly after 6 p.m. We stayed in a Japanese-themed hotel called Minshuku at the very end of Talipanan beach. Before we had our dinner, a monkey stole my lavalier microphone. We were quite tired after the journey, so we fell asleep almost immediately. The next day, we were supposed to spend resting on the beach as a reward for previous days on the road. If you seek tranquility, do less, says Marcus Aurelius. We followed his advice for the last day of our trip. We used the morning to swim in the sea and to reflect on past days. Before departure, we went to see the 10-kilometer stretch of road that makes it impossible to do a full loop around the island. The downward slope was definitely too much for our skills. GoPro footage does not make it quite justice. Then we went to the port, boarded the ferry, and went back to Manila, rich with experience. We could not decide what the best part of the trip was. Was it the chocolate hills, or the river crossing, or the ride through the palm tree forest? We had lots of nice images stored in our memories. We got back to Manila before sunset. It was a nice trip and I'm grateful we made it. 870 kilometers in total. This is the end of our story. I hope you liked it. Ride safe and see you on the road. Bye.